Hi guys, it's Debbie from healingfrombpd.org, and I've popped on to film a raw video, meaning I'm not going to take the time to edit it and put my titles on and everything like that. I'm just going to vlog here for you. So thank you so much to my new readers and to my continued readers. I appreciate you all so much, each and every one of you, and we're such a team, especially on Twitter and Facebook, so thank you guys. And the reason for this post today is the topic of being afraid that someone is going to leave us when you have borderline personality disorder. And the term for it is fear of abandonment. And one of the symptoms of borderline personality disorder, or one of the criteria that someone might have, is an extreme aversion to even just the thought of or perception that someone is going to leave or abandon them. That's not verbatim, but you can look it up on my website under BPD tab is where I have the actual DSM definition. But I recently wrote a blog post about Marilyn Monroe, and I'll have a link to that below. And I also watched a movie last night called My Week with Marilyn. I don't know how many of you guys have seen it. So I'll do a quick and dirty review real quick before I get into the relevance of what that has to do with this whole topic of abandonment and BPD. So I enjoyed the movie. I felt it was a little bit slow at times. However, I thought it was brilliantly acted, especially by Michelle Williams and the rest of the cast. I wasn't sure if I would really feel her as Marilyn because, you know, I just didn't think of her as someone who really resembled her. But I will tell you, there are eerie scenes where she's like doing some kind of dance like this, and other moments where it's like, it's spooky because she actually really does look like her. So it was not 100% believable to me until I really got into the role of the character, of how she was portraying Marilyn. And at the beginning of the movie, it says that it's based on a true story. And so assuming that's the case, let's go from there. So in this movie, without giving away everything, Marilyn is married at the time, and she, as we know, she was married several times in her life. And she and her husband were on the set of a movie in England, and they got into a fight over some things that had occurred, and I won't give away what had occurred. And because of that, he took off and left her, and she became so freaked out, she clung to like the first guy, the nice guy, you know, on the set. And all this stuff eventually happened. And she barely knew him and wanted to know if he loved her. And again, she barely knew him. Boundaries, which we can, I think many of us can relate to. Barely knew him, and at times would hold him sobbing and just beg him repeatedly, please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Promise me you won't leave me. That really grabbed me, that section. Because I know that I have personally done that, not once, not twice, but many a time in a relationship with someone, and even in my current relationship, where, and I honestly haven't done it for a while because the work I've been doing through DBT, which is dialectical behavior therapy, for those of you who are new to my blog or videos, has helped me come so far that I haven't done that in a long time, but it was something that I did repeatedly in my life, so I identified immediately with those moments and remembered and kind of like went back and remembered what it felt like to feel so desperately afraid of having someone go away, and for a number of reasons. For me, with borderline personality disorder, I've come to learn that there are a few different factors primarily that make it so frightening when somebody that you love goes away or threatens to go away, or you even imagine that they may be going away. Maybe you got them angry, who knows what the situation is, but in your mind you're afraid because you think it's going to happen. They're leaving you, they're going to abandon you. It's terrifying, especially before you get any type of therapy to understand what's happening to you psychologically and how to cope with the distress and regulate your emotions and do what you need to do in order to maintain that relationship and not make things worse, or get out of the relationship if that's the healthier thing to do. It's terrifying. And for me, what personally would happen is one little thing would go wrong, or I would make my partner upset, or something would happen, and I would automatically jump from that to he's leaving me, I'm going to be left alone, no one's ever going to love me again, I'm going to be depressed, I'm going to feel suicidal, all of that stuff. And I would cling to him, and I would feel like my whole entire world would definitely just fall apart in that moment should he leave. Like I would not be able to bear and tolerate the loneliness or not having someone there. And for the longest time also, and I can't say that I don't do this at all, but it was like to the extreme, is I would make my partner my world, like the number one, everything revolved around that person. So if the person got angry with me, or if the person, let's say, had to leave for another reason, maybe they have to go deal with family matters or something with school or work, I would flip out, like totally freak out, because suddenly this person that I've revolved my whole world around is gone. I also wrote a post called You've Gone Away, So Who Am I? Something along those lines. And it's about identity issues. So the identity piece comes up for me, or has come up for me, in the face of the fear of abandonment, or in situations where I'm actually alone. I wrote another post recently about when my partner went overseas for 3 weeks. Oh, actually, it was 30 days. It was 4 weeks. And how I avoided going into a crisis because it was so intense in the beginning. And I know some of you guys tweet me sometimes and say that you're going through that. Someone's gone away and the pain is just unbearable and intolerable. Please read that over, because that's exactly where I was. And the situation actually brought me closer to a lot of my readers, because I ended up reaching out and posting something on Facebook at like 2 o'clock in the morning saying, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I can do this alone. And you do it. We do have the strength inside. It's just horrifically terrifying. We're so afraid, and I get that. And I'm not completely over that. I can't say that if he decided to leave tomorrow or go away for a while tomorrow, that I'm just going to be sitting here saying, well, I'll just be skillful and all is well. No, it's still a sore spot. It's still something that I'm working on. And that's what the point is that it takes a lot of work. It takes effort. I truly believe it's worth it. I truly believe that it leads to the path of continuously creating a life worth living, or building a life worth living, as Dr. Marsha Linehan says, who created DBT. And so that is my rant on abandonment and fears around that, and how it triggers identity issues as well, and borderline personality disorder, at least in my own personal experience. And I'll be curious to hear about yours as well. And I will leave you with that, and hopefully I'll get some good feedback or questions, or if you want to share your story, that would be great too. And thank you. I will see you in the next video and in the next blog post. Bye-bye.